Testing. Oh, we're not testing anymore. We're recording. There's that. I got to learn the difference between that. Oh my God, you guys. I'm already exhausted and we haven't even started.
Not yet.
No. Welcome to the struggle with Candice Thompson. Hi, Leo.
I feel like this is a moment for
You
us.
don't understand how much I need this right now. And I'm not kidding. After what happened to me last night, I need an embrace.
Okay.
I need an embrace.
All right,
so I'm not going to, I'll get to that in a minute. Put a pin in that. But guys, welcome back to the struggle with Candice Thompson. To my loyal listeners, thank you for coming back time and time. We're really committing to this.
We're committed. We're in this.
And to my new listeners, thank you for joining. The Struggle is a podcast where I have my friends on and we talk about the challenges of adulting because it's trash a lot of the time. So we hopefully can make you laugh at it. Hopefully you can relate to something and some of the struggles we've had and make your day a little bit brighter. Now, if you haven't subscribed to us yet, we are on all podcast platforms. We are on YouTube as well. If you want to watch us, go there and subscribe. Also, rate and review us on iTunes. It makes a tremendous difference. And if you haven't told somebody about the struggle, make sure you do that if you're listening to this regularly.
How long is this intro?
Just 17 more minutes.
You could have did a pre-record. It's hot in here.
It is hot. That's how we like it, Leo. No pre-records
All
for
this
that.
could have been done without Leo Flowers.
No, it's better. You gave me a hand embrace.
I did give you a hand embrace.
Sorry, my hands are clammy now.
It was super.
Anyway,
hold on.
I was almost done.
Okay.
Now you see how you prolonged it? I was this close to finishing. And you see what you do? Now I got to start over. Hey, guys, welcome back to the...
This is the struggle. This is
The intro is a struggle. The intro is a struggle for me. I talk about it all the time. I hate it. I hate it so much. Maybe we should just pre-record it. But sometimes I improv in it, and I like it. And never mind. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So if you haven't told somebody about the struggle, make sure you do that. And last but not least, follow me on social media, Jokes by Candice, and Candice Thompson Comedy for all my show dates, and watch Lights Out with David Spade on Comedy Central. That's all I have to say. Now, I'm going to introduce my hilarious guest for the day. Leo Flowers, comedian Leo Flowers, who we've known. Can I say that we've known each other for a very
long time,
an extremely long time.
Did a little road trip to where do we go?
San Diego.
You almost kicked me out the car on like the first. I think every male comic has any comic who's ridden in the car with Candice is like she kicked me out the car, or almost kicked me out the car.
I've kicked a couple of people.
I know you have.
I've kicked a couple.
Yeah.
I kicked Ocean out of my car one time.
Damn, you naming names?
Yeah. Why not? Nobody knows who Ocean is. Anyway. Oh, no. Can I tell you why I almost kicked you out of the car? Because Leo being a man.
I know you kicked me out of the car. First of all, she showed up late. All right. She showed up late. And you showed up late.
That sounds
and I said, I go, in another 2 minutes, I wouldn't have showed up or something like that. Or
this was for the San Diego one?
Yeah, it was like San Diego, not San Diego. It was like between LA and San Diego. It was one of those beach towns. Or something.
We ended up in
no, we did.
We ended up in Mexico
somewhere.
No, we ended up in Mexico because of you.
And I go, and then she was like, "Well, you don't have to get in my car. You could walk or something like that." And I was like, "Damn, we starting off."
That sounds just like me. That sounds.
She showed up late. I crack a joke about her being late, and then she like, "You could walk," and I was like, and was serious too. There was no levity. There was no LOL. There was no little emoji with a smiley face. Nothing. It was a stone cold, and then it was like dead silence for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but I believe it. I don't remember that at all, but I believe it 100%.
And then you told me I kicked Ocean out the car. And then she proceeded to brag about.
I said that. I said that then, and that's my proudest one. I take pride in that one.
Hold on, what happened that you kicked?
He started arguing with me, and I was like, "You got to go."
Wow.
I was like, "You ain't gonna yell at me in my car."
Oh yeah. If you yelling, you can't be in.
And he was talking
yelling.
Crazy too.
Yeah,
so I was like, "You have to get out of my car." I was like, "I don't know where you got to go, but I'm not taking you there." It was on Crescent Heights, right south of the Laugh Factory. I think I've kicked Michael DeBay out of my car. I'm pretty sure I've kicked him out.
Oh yeah, I can see you kick.
Yeah. The list goes on. How much time you got, buddy?
Oh man, I feel like you got a body in the trunk right now.
You just
Yeah.
just
It's just like, I ain't gonna kick you out, but you gotta get in the
decomposing
trunk. Yeah.
in the heat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's one in there right now. He talked back to me about something. He made fun of my light skin,
Oh,
and I was like, "You got to
man.
get in the trunk."
When I was younger, in high school, I remember, I had friends who had cars, and they would always threaten to kick you out the car or whatever. Just, out
a
of
power
just for-
move.
it is a power move, and I only wanted a car for that reason. The only
you can have that hold it above
just so I
somebody.
could be like, you could walk.
Yeah.
Only for that line
Yeah.
right there. I was willing to pay whatever a month. Speaking of which, you're paying too much on
I
your lease.
know. If only we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah,
Wait, you
we
still
will.
didn't tell people where
What?
they can find you on social media.
Just go to leoflowers.com. I haven't updated my website in 50 years, but
Same.
it
Websites.
links to all my.
Who looks at websites anymore? It's all social
Nobody.
media.
Yeah, it's all Instagram. Leo Flowers 2000 on Instagram, and then I have a podcast, Before You Kill Yourself,
About mental health, right?
about mental health, and it's on iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff. So
That's you guys follow Leo and listen to his podcast. Because mental health is real.
it's real. That's why I'm drinking. That's why I'm doing a keto diet, and I'm intermittent fasting. All that stuff works.
Intermittent fasting is amazing.
It's incredible. You know how they say, feed the flu, starve a cold.
Yes.
But keto, your anxiety, and intermittent fast, your depression. And I got that from Chris Gorbos.
Wait, Chris, you said keto, you're what?
Keto, your anxiety. So if you're a person who struggles with anxiety, or you feel like you're going to have one of those crazy days where you're just like, go on a keto diet, meaning like keep your carbs low, your protein, fats, and vegetables high.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I travel, like when I go from LA to New York, sometimes I catch a red eye and I won't eat anything for that whole trip.
That's great.
And then you don't get that brain fog, you don't get that jet lag.
Oh no, I believe that 100%. I talk about my diet all the time on this podcast, but what's interesting is that people they hear fasting and they freak out.
Yeah, they're like not eating. It's like nah.
They think you're saying the most preposterous thing you could possibly say.
You know what ends up happening when you intermittent fast is that you then start eating more nutrient dense foods. So
Yes.
like now I'm eating like salmon and bison and elk. Like I'm eating real foods because I got a small window. I can't be eating Oreos.
Cheetos.
Yeah, you can't be.
And you'll feel like trash
right,
like immediately right
I
after.
can't go to McDonald's. I got to get some real grub.
nutrition.
Yeah.
Some greens.
Yeah. Oh no, that Swiss chard, that kale, that bok choy.
I feel like you're one of the few people that gets as excited about
that
healthy
quinoa?
foods as I do.
Oh, I get when I go to the farmer's market and I see anything purple, like a purple cauliflower, I got to add it.
Yeah.
I got just
How do you feel about eggplant?
just to brag about it. You know what? I'm not big on eggplant.
Me neither. The texture bothers me.
I don't like the look, the texture. Nothing about it is enticing.
I keep giving it shots too, and I don't know why. I keep giving it a shot. But maybe I'll try this one. Maybe I'll try it.
Like it's gonna be different
Like
this
it's
time.
gonna be different,
Yeah,
and I get
nah.
disappointed. It's the mushy. I can't get past the mushy.
The mushy. I
Yeah.
don't like it. Yeah.
I
Now
don't know.
fried eggplant, but then again, now it's fried.
Now it's
so
fried.
why,
It's
if
unhealthy.
I gotta do
if I gotta
all
do that to
yeah,
it,
nah.
you're ruining it.
Yeah.
It's getting
steamed
having like
broccoli. Steamed broccoli still, I got love for it. I
You
don't need
do.
much. Yeah.
See, here's the thing: is
Uh-oh.
I started even talking about this on stage. Is
What?
why did it take so long for us to find out how to roast vegetables? When I was growing up, my mom was steaming vegetables, and she's wondering why we weren't eating our vegetables because they taste disgusting.
Horrible.
But roasting makes everything delicious.
Olive oil and salt is the come on.
I don't want to punch you in the face right now because it excites me.
Beets Brussels sprouts with olive oil. And
Preach, Leo, preach.
put that sea salt. You get that. I like to do that. Who was that? Who was the Salt Bay? Who's that dude?
Salt
that, like,
Bay, yeah.
bam. Yeah.
So delicious. If you have, I almost got into a fist fight with Doc Willis because he told me he still steams his vegetables, and I was like, "What are you talking? You sound like a psychopath."
No, you can't do that. Yeah,
You have to roast it.
It takes
So
way
good.
too much time to be steaming.
And it
sometimes
it
I
doesn't taste good at
will
all.
steam. Sometimes I'll do that. Just when I'm feeling, but it's hot right now everywhere. I
Yeah.
don't care even if you have AC,
It's
still hot. So I'm not now. I cook at night.
It's the best
When
time.
the
when
heat
it
cools
down.
when the sun gets out of here, you know what I'm
You
saying?
have to. You cook by the sun and the
Yeah,
moon.
nah.
Listen to you. Listen to what you've become. I love it. I love like this is just
Oh,
like you're
man.
going by. It's like the tides.
Yeah.
You have to go with what the universe is telling you to do. It's
Let
so
me
good.
tell you, every month I have a calendar, one of those dry erase board calendars.
Is that your vision board?
Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look up my astrology for the month, and
Mm.
then I'll fill it in on my calendar, like, you know, don't sign any contracts on this day.
Yeah.
Travel on this day. Talk to your mama on this day.
And it's been working out for you?
I tell you what, you'd be surprised. It's never not worked out. I'll put it like that. I've never done something. Now, not to say that I always do everything that's on there, but I've never done something on there and was like, that was a bad idea.
Interesting. I'm
Yeah.
curious. I would like to not hear, but we'll hang out, and I would like to know more about that because I've never been like an astrology person. And I would like to also say that Leo, I think, is the first black person
Yeah.
to be into. You're probably the only black person that knows what Mercury and retrograde means.
No, who was old girl back in the day? That had the commercial.
Who?
It's the Jude. She's the psychic lady with the hat. Oh, as soon as I say,
Cleo.
Yeah, Miss Cleo. When she black?
Yeah, and she went to prison.
Yo, I did not know that.
She got locked up because
For
she
what?
was fraud. Like she was lying. Her whole thing was a scam. Did you believe that she was actually psychic?
No, but I'm like, I thought we was all in on it. I thought we all knew it's kind of like the 1-800 like
we knew that
sex
she was
talk. Like I thought it was just that kind of thing.
I don't know the details. She probably didn't pay her taxes either. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the details of it. We should Google that because I am curious. I should try and get her on the podcast.
You should. I wonder what happened to all those commercials too. Those 1-800 sex, 1-900 sex. Remember?
I still see sex. I just saw a phone sex commercial the other night, and I said, who is calling in for sex? Do they know about cell phones and porn? It's in the palm of your hand.
Yo, hey, here's a mental health hack for you.
Yes.
Because some people are embarrassed to call 800 suicide number, and they're really
What's embarrassing about it?
Now here's why I bring it up, because we are talking about the 1-900 sex number, right?
Yes.
And I had a sex worker on my podcast, and I said, why are most men coming to you? And she said, understanding. Men just want to be understood and heard. But sometimes you're not comfortable talking to your woman about the stuff you want to talk about because you don't want to be judged.
So she's a sex worker in what way? Like a phone sex operator?
No, like live sex, but there's no touching. So like she'll play with herself, she'll dance, like whatever they want her to do, however they want her to dress up.
Online only, or
in
person?
In person.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, she'll play with herself, all that stuff. And so what I realized, like, if you don't want to call the 800 suicide number and you ain't got the money to call a therapist, call customer service of any company, because they got to listen to you and they got to be nice. You could be like, listen, I need to reduce my phone bill. I'm also thinking about killing myself. And then, they can't hang up on you.
But they're not trained to deal with that.
They're not, but you just want somebody to listen to you. It's not, when people call these numbers, they don't really want to do the thing they're calling for. Yeah. They just want to be heard.
I will say I used to work at a call center when I was in college, and I would have been the wrong person if you were suicidal. You gotta be that deep.
It could be relationship stuff like, yo, my wife is tripping. That's why I gotta lower my phone bill. You know what I mean? It could just be any general.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that, and that is a good hack. That is a good,
because they got.
You just need someone to talk to.
You just want somebody to talk to.
And sometimes even people you call your friends aren't there for you. Nope.
Or they don't know how to be there. For I remember when I was in high school, we had my boy Briscoe, my best friend to this day from high school. And really an emotional dude. He was that dude to be like, yo, bro, I love you guys so much. This means so much to me. Like, he was a really emotive dude, and we would always clown him for that.
Yeah.
And now that I'm 43, I'm like, oh, he was on to something. You know what I mean?
It's true.
It's like that shit. You talk about the struggle. The struggle for me now is to say when something hurts.
Yes, I can see that's difficult.
Oh man, as a dude, as a man,
and a black man on top of it.
As a black man, to be like, yo,
to be vulnerable,
that really hurt.
Right.
Versus saying, yo, screw you, F you, or responding with anger, or just shutting down or
Right.
just avoiding, be like, I'm not going to talk to that person or kicking them out my car.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Call back.
You see how I did that? Is hard. But I mean, it's hard for men and women. It's hard for people in general.
But I think it is because of societal pressures for men to always be tough. Women, it's okay for us to express our emotions. We're supposed to. If we don't do that, we're looked upon as like different and weird. They expect that of us. But if men don't do it, then that's just par for the course. It's like you're not supposed to.
Yeah, you ain't supposed to do that. And every time I say it, it makes my stomach hurt a little bit. But the more I say it, the more I'm like, oh, this actually feels good. Like I'm not holding on to shit. Your
body chemistry, like your cells feel better.
Yeah, I'm beating cancer. This is how you fight cancer.
It is true. Getting rid of stress
and just being like, hey, yo, that hurt.
Yes, it's true. Communication.
I saw an Asian chick hugging a tree yesterday, and I was like, damn, that looks so. And when I say hugging a tree,
it was deep
intimate.
Embrace.
Oh, like it was just her and a tree.
Maybe she was like Buddhist, and that was a family member or a lover that had come back in tree form.
Yeah. Oh, that reincarnation.
I'm just saying.
I saw the hips gyrating a little bit, so it.
That was her boo.
Yeah.
That was her boo.
Wait, what's your struggle?
Okay. Oh God.
Yeah.
This is you guys. Some shit went down last night, and if you follow me on Twitter, you may have seen some of it.
Oh shit! You putting your shit on? Don't.
I know. I had to, because it started in real time, in like life, and then I had to put it on Twitter because I just needed to get it out. So I'll tell you what happened. So I'm at the Comedy Store last night. I am on a lineup in the main room. And Miss Pat is the comic that's up right before me. Now, do you know her personally?
Oh, yeah, I've worked with her.
I don't know her at all. Don't know her. Like I've seen her perform she's just started getting spots at the she just got passed. So she's now a regular at the store. So I'm going to be seeing her regularly. And I've seen her probably twice over the past 2 weeks. And I saw her in the original room for the first time last week, and I saw her heckle another comedian on stage. She heckled Jamar, and he was killing, like had a great set. She actually had said something when I was on stage right before him. She yelled something out at me, and I just kept it moving because I couldn't really understand what she said. I just kept it moving. Anyway, I was like, why is this bitch heckling comedians? And like yelled at Jamar while he was on stage and said, I heard her because the comics sit in the back with the regular seats. So I heard her lean over and ask Owen Smith, "What's his name?" And he says Jamar. So then, because she's stupid, and I have no problem saying this because of what's you're about to hear, she yells out, "Jamal," not his name. And remind you again, he's killing, having a really good set. Hey Jamal, anybody ever tell you look like Donkey from Shrek? Bitch. And then proceeded to keep heckling him. And he destroyed her, took her down promptly, which was great. And then that happened last weekend. Now fast forward to last night. We're at the Comedy Store. I'm following her in the main room. So I'm already like backstage in my head, like she's not going to say my name properly. I'm already mentally preparing. And I was like, that's not a big deal. Comics, she don't know me that well. I know she knows my name, and I know she saw me perform the week before. So she has a general idea of who I am. I do know that. And there's also like a lineup in the back to read. So like what most comics do, because we bring each other up, we'll look at the sheet to see who's coming up next. So we'll be like, I'll call up this next person. I know who's on deck. And if we forget, we might yell out to the sound guy, who's next? Because we might forget. And I don't get mad at that either. That's fine. This bitch is on stage doing her set. She finishes and she goes, "Who's next?" And Danny, the sound guy, goes, "Candice Thompson." Who? Candice Thompson. Clear as day. Who? Candice Thompson. Oh, white people, clap for one of your people. Candice Thomas's.
Wow.
That's what happened last night in the main room.
And what was your
response? Now, here's the thing, is that I heard her saying what to Danny, trying to get my name. What I didn't hear, I heard her say something, but it was not clear backstage. I couldn't hear what she said. I knew she said something, but I did not know what she said. So all I heard her mispronounce my name clearly. So I just went out, and even just from hearing that and not hearing what she said in that sentence, I walked out not even acknowledging her presence because I was already so mad at her for just doing that. So normally I'll be like, give it up for so-and-so. I didn't even acknowledge her presence. I just went on stage, didn't make eye contact, kept it moving. I didn't know what she said until I got off stage and like 5 people told me. One of the door guys was like, he was like, you're black, right? Like and I was like, yeah, I literally just talked about it on stage and I talk about it all the time. People know I'm black. And he goes, oh, because she said, white people clap for one of your people. And I said, what? So I didn't even know what she said, which had to have been the universe, because there was actually someone there to see me last night. I had a casting director come out to see me. That could have completely thrown me off my game and put me in my head or got me angry, and I would have definitely had a completely different set. So I feel like that was God protecting me. But so many people came up to me and was like, what the fuck? She's psychotic. She's psychotic. And I'm like, yes, she's psychotic. Why? Who does that? Who does that? I did proceed to have a really good set, so that was fine. But
yeah, what did the casting director say?
Oh, I didn't. She was also there to see somebody else, so I was already like in a fit of rage looking for Miss Pat at the store after I wasn't even thinking about that casting director. I was hunting.
You had a knife.
I was walking around. Where that fat bitch at? Like, that's what I was screaming down the hallways.
Did you find her?
I did not. But and in the time I found like Chinadu friends, and they were like, what the fuck? Because they didn't see it happen, but they were all this, like, making me feel better about the situation, but still like, that's fucked up, which was what I needed to hear at the time. And then Chinadu texts me. As I was in my car pulling out of the driveway, Candice, she's up front. So I was like, but I was already like pulling out of the driveway, so it was too late. So I was like, but I was still so heated that I was like, I got to get this off my chest. I was like, I can't go to sleep. I don't have her contact number. So I just went and tweeted like an adult. But I tagged her and everything. Like, I wasn't subtweeting.
Yo, Trump has made it like acceptable for people to air all their grievances on Twitter. And Twitter was dying. Twitter was on its way out.
Twitter should have died.
And Trump
because now it's
resurrected it.
Yeah, and now it's just a cesspool for hate. Before it was like people telling jokes. Now it's like it's just there for anger.
I only follow Gary Goldman on Twitter. That's it. He's the only one that's been consistently funny
and helpful
and neutral
and positive. I don't tweet anymore. She resurrected the anger in me. To now tweet. I don't be tweeting anymore because I hate Twitter. Twitter's trash. And I hate it so much, but I had to, and I'm not going to read all the things that I tweeted.
Oh, how many tweets were there, Candice?
Well, she came back at me. I said...
Oh, yeah, she did.
So I'm livid. So this is the first thing I tweeted. I said, I know you're upset, Miss Pat, but disrespecting fellow comedians on stage isn't going to bring Popeye's chicken sandwich back.
What was her response to that?
Hold on, let me see. Because something is wrong. Oh, she said, excuse you, what the fuck are you? And I'm reading the typos because this what makes me think, this is why I said she's dumb, because it's confirmed via all these typos. She goes, excuse you, what the fuck are your, apostrophe R-E, talking about? I make too much, T-O, not T-O-O, too much money to eat Popeyes, I eat Chick-fil-A, and then tagged Chick-fil-A to bring them into the conversation. Like, so then...
She tried to get that sponsorship deal.
She must be. She's trying to get a fried chicken sponsorship. So then she said, I make too much money to eat Popeyes, I eat Chick-fil-A. I said, nah, all those typos scream Popeyes. To which she wrote back, girl, sit your unfunny ass damn bitch. Not a sentence. Oh. Sit your unfunny ass damn bitch.
What is it about the Comedy Store and beefs? Like, I never hear about a beef breaking out at the Improv or
No, you're
the
right
Laugh
about that.
Factory.
You're right about
Or,
that. Oh no, there's definitely beef at the
well,
Laugh Factory.
but the Laugh Factory beef is like with the owner. I'm talking about usually you don't hear about like
Comics.
the comics really going at each other, except at it's always around a comedy store.
store.
There's something about that place.
I feel like the Comedy Store puts up a lot of negative comics. And so, and even the comics that aren't, there are a lot of negative people for sure in comedy, but then also I think there's a lot of negative people just hanging around the store because they focus on it. They're like, I got to get past at the store, and they let it become an obsession, and they just hang around. But it's a breeding ground for negativity for sure. And it has gotten a lot better since Adam took over.
Yeah.
You remember when Tommy was there? It was
energy,
awful.
The energy's
So much better.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So that went on for a few more. I won't read the whole entire thing, but the last thing I said to her, because she said, this unfunny comic is coming after me. And I said, no, honey, I'm not coming after you. The only thing coming after you is diabetes. And so that was, then I was like, and then she said something else at me, and then she like tried to get her fans to come at me or whatever. And then I was like, Miss Pat, I'm just letting you know, you should not disrespect comedians when you bring them up in the intros. Like I don't even know you, and this is how you attack me. So I was like, I was just letting you know. And I just blocked her because she responded to that with like more angst and like just ire. So I was like, I'm going to completely just, because you don't get it. Well, she's crazy. You're a crazy person. And after this, I was like, oh, no wonder she been shot. This all made sense. I don't know her at all. And within, sometimes people don't even have to tell you who they are. Just look at their past. If you've been shot, there's a good likelihood you may have done something to deserve it. Now, there are some obvious accidental shootings that happen. You just a casualty, a person that was just a bystander, for sure. But most of the people that get shot, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you probably did something to deserve it. That's all.
Now, how'd you sleep after all this?
Oh, I couldn't.
I thought the whole point
was to get it.
Of getting it out was so that you can breathe. You can
I
relax.
did too.
It doesn't work, does it?
No, the only thing that
it.
worked was when I worked out this morning. That helped me. I went to a new class that kicked my ass, and I'm exhausted because of it.
Yeah.
And I felt much better after that. But yeah, no. And also, people kept texting me because they saw the tweets and they were like, "What's happening?"
So they feeling it. Yeah, they keeping it going.
Yes.
Yeah.
But apparently, this is not. I'm not the first person to complain about her. Other comics have been brought up to shitty intros by her, and she's been heckling comics. So I don't know how that's going to get handled or rectified, but it needs to, because that's not something we need to do. Why are we attacking other comics as if this industry and what we do is not difficult enough? And I would also like to say, and this will be the final thing I say on this, is that it makes me extremely sad that this was a woman. It makes me extremely we complain about, and I say this multiple times on the spot, we complain about men being trash, and it's like, the meanest things that have been done to me in this industry have been done by women.
Wow.
And the fact that she's black takes it to a whole nother level. Because in that comment that she made to me, you already know that there's a colorism problem.
Right.
Telling me white people, I'm for them.
Right.
We have a problem.
Yeah.
So.
And that's something I'm sure you struggle with, like, growing up. I can't even imagine what was said.
That's why
to
I'm
you.
a comic.
Yeah.
Because I have so much pain from that.
Either looking white, I got comments for talking white.
Yeah, for sure.
He enunciates,
Yeah.
Knowing the difference between 2 and 2 and 2.
Yeah. You old smarty art. Oh, you went to college? You old smarty art. Why? That's actually in one of the tweets she sent me.
Yeah.
She was like, you're educated jokes. And I was like, what? So you're mad at me for being articulate? This is what I'm sorry, I could go on. I want to get to your struggle. I could just go on this for days because.
No, I get, but you know what was beautiful about what you brought up is, and it's something that I'm recently learning. I'm reading this book called Letting Go, and it talked about how, this idea of, I got to get this off my chest. Like when you're upset, you're angry, or whatever your feelings like. No, that person has to know how I feel, so I could, or so I can move on.
Yeah.
But you do that, and you can't move on because they don't give you the closure that you sought from them. They don't give you the they say I'm sorry. Even if they say I'm sorry, they don't say it in the tone
A
that
genuine
you
way.
that you
Right.
want them to hear it, or you have to force it out of them. And then you realize that whatever you're feeling, you have to work through yourself.
For sure.
I had one of my buddies was like, hurt people hurt people.
Oh, I say that
So
weekly.
you can't expect the person who hurt you to then help you.
For sure.
That's all on you, right?
That's absolutely true.
And so what was that class you took this morning?
It's
helped
called
you?
it's called Lec Fit. Lec Fit. It's a pop-up workout studio.
Oh, wow.
And it's got the rebounders, the mini trampolines.
Yeah.
And
The trampolines are real.
Yeah, I was not ready. And let me also preface this by saying I haven't taken a cardio class since I took a cardio class with my sister in Cincinnati when I went home for Christmas. That was probably 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And to this day, I tell my sister to go tell that teacher that I'm looking for him. Because I couldn't walk.
Oh, no,
I was
that's
so
not good.
sore
Yeah.
for like 5, normal
Nah.
soreness last 2 days,
Yeah.
right? Delayed onset
Right.
muscles, DOMS, right?
Yep.
I was sore. I was using the banister to go upstairs and downstairs for 5 days. And this class was harder than that.
People think, and I blame the commercials. People think every workout supposed to be this P90X,
Yeah.
P45,
too much.
insanity, CrossFit, and you're not supposed to annihilate your muscles.
body.
You're just supposed to activate. Activate,
Don't annihilate. Activate. Okay.
Are we on? Is this
Jesse
video?
Jackson? You the Jesse Jackson of workouts.
Yeah, everybody think they supposed to be, I killed it, I burnt it. And it's like, yeah, if you're in your 20s, all right, maybe,
That's
that's what you
fine.
did. But, when you're in your 30s, 40s, after that, it's just about moving.
And what do you even do? What's the goal?
Of-
Like
of-
people that do that, like what are you trying to be an Olympic? You're not because
nah.
you're too old. You already aged out
What's
of
the
that.
point of killing yourself on
Right.
Monday if you can't walk again till Friday?
Yeah.
That don't even make sense.
Be in pain
Yeah,
for
you
the
just
whole
on the
entire
couch,
week.
and
Yeah,
then
it
you
doesn't.
eating because you in pain and you're not moving and you're all depressed and sad. But what it is people like to brag about being in pain. It's a way to get attention. Like,
For
I can't.
sure.
I know people are like, I can't walk. I took this class and they love that the attention
Of
that
course.
comes from. Oh, what's wrong? What's going on? Oh, that really tough. Like, get out of here.
Have
There's-
you know about emotional vampires?
Oh yeah.
If I mentioned this. I brought this up on the last podcast. But really, have you watched What We Do in the Shadows?
What is that?
It's a television show that is a spinoff from a movie by Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords and Taika Waititi, who was the director. He directed the last Thor Ragnarok.
I'm
and
impressed that you pronounced that name correctly.
Look, I'm not Miss Pat. I don't call people Tiger, Waikiki.
So many shots fired.
Was that intended? Was that pun intended? Shots, Miss Pat? Is that? Did you do that on purpose? Was that intentional?
I did not. I'm just a genius like that.
He's like,
I do callbacks.
Unintentionally brilliant.
Yeah. Call me Leo Gambino.
That is coincidentally what Miss Pat would bring you up to stage as.
Leo Gambino. Yo, I just watched. I was asleep on Childish Gambino for so long. I had no idea.
Yeah,
Then I
talented.
watched him do freestyle on Sway in the morning.
Yes.
Yo,
Talented.
my boy got. I mean,
Boars.
Stand up.
Boars.
I want to know what his schedule is because he's stand up albums, TV
CrossFit.
show, like taking a trampoline class. The dude is just writing and writing at a high level
Yeah.
on multiple platforms, and I want to hack that. That's the real struggle.
Have you sent him a DM?
You know what? I haven't. I can't imagine. If anybody, he definitely is not responding and scrolling through.
How can
His,
you
his
at that
IG.
point?
Nah,
like
nah.
I have just a fraction of the followers, and I can't.
Can't keep up.
Who has the time?
He has an 18-year-old intern scrolling through his feed.
Yeah,
and
you have to
answering.
at that point.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Leo, we probably have 7 minutes left. No, what is your struggle?
Oh man, what is my struggle? It had been ice
Negotiate.
cream.
We talked about negotiating.
Negotiating. We're talking. Yeah. So, Candice,
Shut up.
We pull into the parking lot at the same time, and it turns out me and Candice just started leasing the same car.
Same model.
Toyota CHR, which I don't even know what the CHR stands for.
I don't either.
I didn't even test drive my car before I leased
Really?
it. Yeah, I was just like, I'll take it.
I liked the way it looked. It was just a sexy car to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was sold before I even test drove it too. But then she was like, I wasn't even gonna ask, and she was like, you want to test drive it? I was like, oh yeah, sure. And I did, but I wouldn't have even asked for it because I was already in my head. I was like, I like the way it looks. Let's do this. It's Toyota. It's good quality.
I'm very decisive. So like when I see something I want, I'm just like, I want it, and then like I don't need to know all the stuff about it, which has been good and bad.
I was gonna say that sounds like it could go very wrong, Leo.
But, that's how I ended up with we broke up, but anyway, that's all this.
The person you were dating?
Yeah, for a couple of years. Not now, but
Did I ever meet this person?
No. She.
Leo has.
I got
many.
multiple stories.
Many.
So when I first moved to LA, I was 25, straight out of college, and I was watching The Real World, right? And I see this black woman, and she's arguing with somebody, and I got the volume down.
And it turned you on.
And it turned me on. I was like, I don't know who that is.
But when I kick you out of a car, I hear all types of mouth. He's like, I like when black women yell at other people. That's what gets me hard. When they yell at me, it makes my dick very soft.
Yo, I'm afraid to say I'm into that whole like being yelled at a little bit. You know what I mean?
So you do like the?
I do. That's why I end up dating the wrong women for sure.
I was gonna say,
but she was the right woman. It was the
wrong time.
Bad time.
That's the case in most relationships.
Yeah,
Could be the right person,
woman.
just wrong ass time.
Wrong time. But going back to the leasing story, so we pull in same car, same model. And then we just started leasing the car, so I go, what was your payments? Because I'm always feeling like I didn't negotiate well. And what'd you say, $1,500?
I knew I didn't negotiate well because I didn't negotiate at all. I was just like, yeah, sounds good. I can afford that.
So I think Candice was like $1,500 down, and then $350 a month.
$333.
$333 a month, and then mine was $750 down, $250 a month.
You know what? My last Prius that I had that I leased, I only put down $500.
How'd you get that though? So
how'd
you become a worse negotiator? Though?
I don't know.
What
more
happened?
money. I started making more money.
Oh, that's what happened.
And I stopped caring. I was like, yeah, I can afford that. Sure.
But you know what? But that's when I realized I don't know shit about money because one of my clients very wealthy, not rich, wealthy, right?
Oh.
Like takes the
Are
family.
Are they single? Is it a man?
Married, 2 kids. Will take his family to London for like 3 months. Kind of wealth. Like and easy, not like
yeah,
easy.
They can just peace out for 3 months. Nobody needs to work.
They stay on the States, that kind of money, right? And but I remember I was like, yo, you need these kind of cross training shoes if you're gonna train with me because he had like running shoes.
Yeah.
And do you know he spent 2 days trying to get the best price for shoes? Like
That's why he's wealthy.
And he was excited. He was like, Leo, next time I saw him, he's like, Leo, when I saw the shoes you sent me was $110. But then I found another website that had them for $90. But then I found a coupon on this other site that got me down to $85. And then I had this other, and then because of the day and the time. When I tell you, he timed it, got the all that stuff. He was like, then I got a mail-in thing. He got the shoes that I sent him for $110 for $70. And had to jump through all these different hoops. But to him, that was worth it. It was, but that's how he was brought up. His parents, he said, when they would negotiate, when they would buy a car, they would go in as soon as the place opened and wouldn't leave until it closed, and just to negotiate, just to wear down.
See, this is before the internets.
Yeah.
I ain't got time to do that anymore. I gotta go home and watch Netflix.
But it made me realize people who are wealthy, like it is a mindset.
Yes.
Because every dollar
They
matters.
value
They
the money in a
value the
way.
money.
I
Yeah.
agree, and
Yeah.
it's like, and it should be the other way around. You would think that people with less money would be like, I need to make sure that I don't spend this and this and be more frugal. But it's the complete, and you're right, and that is how they stay wealthy. It is a mindset. You're absolutely
The
right.
poor get poorer and the rich get richer. It is. If you have that poor mindset.
Oh, that is true. I say that all the time on this.
Yeah.
People, I don't know if you guys are listening, but it is a mentality. If you think you're poor, you will stay poor. You cannot.
Because people can feed, they vibe that energy off of you.
Yes.
Or like, oh, you ain't really gonna make it. Because like I met plenty of broke people, and I was like, they're gonna be a star, and you want to attach yourself to them because you're like, I want to be there when they are on the when they.
We
when
all
they
knew
get there.
Gerard when he was
Yeah.
sleeping on couches and wearing the same track jacket every day.
But he knew he was going somewhere.
Of course.
You could feel it.
You could
off
feel
some
it, for
people.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
but
sure.
Sometimes you're wrong about some people.
Oh,
But
yeah. Some people ain't never going to make it.
I had Aristotle. Every time I see Aristotle, you just had him on. He looked at me. He's like, Leah, why haven't you made it yet? And I'm like, I don't know.
I'm so funny.
I'm like, but I
You
think
are very funny. You're a great joke writer.
I appreciate it. But I think, you know what I realize it is that I wasn't very good socially.
That's the hardest part
That's the
for me
hardest part.
because these people, as you can see from my experience last night, people
Kicking
are
people
trash.
out of cars.
Kicking
Kicking
people out of cars.
and with Candice.
I think we found a spinoff for my podcast.
It's like the whole podcast is like, can you survive an hour in the car as we drive around? Have those little GoPros in the corner? Oh, I would watch that because I know people would not survive. There were people who would probably jump out the car. Be like, I can't take it anymore. Just jump out the window. Oh, man. I'd be all over that right there.
First of all, that's hilarious, and I would like to start shooting this tomorrow, if possible, if you're available. How long do you think you'll make it?
Oh, man. You know what? I think I would make it just because, like, I have not to brag, but I'm very emotionally intelligent and intuitive. So I know how to navigate your spaces.
And
what I mean?
I wonder we're both more mature now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I would kick you out of my car now or even threaten it.
You would definitely kick me out your car now.
Yeah, I was lying.
There's nothing.
I was definitely lying when I said that.
I would like reach for the You know why? Because I like to touch things when I get in the car. I'm that person. Like if I come to your house or I'm in your car, I'm all up in everything. I'm opening glove compartments. I like to fiddle.
Why?
I fiddle with everything. I want to know what's in the drawers, everything. And
I mean, you shouldn't have anything that's too personal in your car anyway. Like people that have like.
Some people, man, I'm surprised at what people keep in their car, and I'm like, no wonder your car been broken into like 10 times. You got it all.
Oh, people that keep their laptops in their car like overnight. What are you doing?
What you
and
doing?
Your wallet? What are you?
Nah.
And your phone? What are you doing?
All your papers, your joke books. Like, damn, you a comedian? You got all your stuff. You got your kids back there.
All out everywhere. What are you doing?
You got equipment. You got a trombone in the back seat.
You said equipment. Podcast equipment. That's real.
Anything. People are breaking. Here's a. I hate to admit this. I was really broke when I first moved out here, and sometimes I'd be walking by cars and I see like an apple or orange in
You wanted to break in,
and I almost you don't even know how close I was to just breaking in for orange.
And I thought you were gonna say a laptop.
No. I just wanted the orange. I was willing to do 3 to 7.
Wait, when you said apple, you were talking about an apple?
I was talking about an edible.
I thought you were talking about an apple. I thought you were talking about a MacBook. Leo was thinking about.
I was talking about a Granny Smith
fruit.
Pro. I was talking about a Honey Crisp 10.
10X. Damn, people don't understand how hard LA is. People don't understand. And I think the only people that understand are people who are in New York. Yeah. Because it's worse.
Yeah. Because it's cold.
Cold, and also it's cheap and it's more expensive. This is cheaper. Like LA is definitely more forgiving than New York, but the struggle is real out here.
The only way, what I love about New York though is that you feel like you're struggling with other people. In LA, you feel like you're the only one struggling.
That's true. It's so
I go to a
spaced out.
farmer's market like on a Tuesday at 10,
People are smiling.
and I'm like, how y'all just
happy
on you ain't got no job?
No, I know.
Just thriving, grabbing,
Absolutely. Why aren't y'all at work?
perusing.
All the kept women, they walk around with their kids, and it's just like, you guys don't have
strolling,
just
not in a
taken
rush.
care of, huh?
You go to New York, people rushing through stuff. In LA, it's just they just perusing, getting it.
Yeah, no, it's like there's no urgency.
No urgency, nothing.
And New York is the
nothing.
complete opposite. I said that a long time ago, I said the people who did the blueprint of New York were clearly on cocaine, and the people who laid out the blueprint for LA were weed. Like that, the architecture and like everything's close together. Like that person, that architect was like, "Come on, we gotta go, we gotta." Like, and the person did, I was like, "Hey man, just chill out, bro.
We can
Just
put some
take
stuff
it
over
over
there.
here."
Over there. Yeah. Just
Put
drop
some
that. Just
palm
lay it down.
trees.
Yeah. Just lay it down wherever. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Yeah.
Like it's the complete opposite. But I have a love for both of them.
You need both of them for sure. New York makes me I want to write more, do more, be more, and
be
LA,
more productive.
I'm like, but now, and that's the hard part too in LA is like I want to get up at 5 a.m. I find that getting up at
I never want to do that.
5 a.m. Between 5 a.m. and 7, I'm my most creative.
That's also the best time to meditate
super
too.
late night. Oh, that's when you meditate?
Yeah. Oh, I know. I said
Or
that's
so
the
when
best
the curse
time
Miss
to meditate.
Pat
I
out.
didn't say I did it. I meditate daily. I meditate every
really?
day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah, I meditate daily.
Yeah, don't you do like an hour?
I can't anymore because I have to be in a room at 8:30 in the morning. So I can't do that anymore. So I do at the most I can do now is like maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, that's all you need though. You don't need.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
I do miss it because I would. Now it's like so short that, but it was before I was like I'd come up with ideas for like my stand up and just creatively. I feel like it's just not enough time for me to go as deep as I want to go with 15 minutes, unfortunately. But I still need it.
I feel that. Yeah, it takes me about 10 minutes before I feel like I'm locked in. I'm like, oh, there we go.
And then it's like, oh, I got to stop already.
Yeah,
I just got here. We just got here.
But you know what? But it's good though, because like it goes back to you just want to activate, not annihilate. You know what I'm saying? You just want to activate that prefrontal cortex, get the juices going.
Yeah.
Get all up in your logical areas. You want to get out that amygdala. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, we be in that fight or flight so much.
Spell amygdala, Miss Pat. Sorry, go ahead, because she listens to this. Sorry. Wait, go back. I love what we're talking about, but I also want to go back to. I wanted to learn more about negotiating.
Oh,
because you said you read a book on it.
So one of the things is, and I use this in my negotiation is like when somebody gives you a number, like, yo, we need $1,500 for this or $10,000 for that or whatever. You just say, how am I supposed to do that? And it seems like a very simple question, but what you're really doing is you're putting it back on them to figure out how you're supposed to spend it. Versus like most people will be like, I can't do that. All right, you can't do that. Well, then there's no
room to.
Right. You're like, all right, you can't do that. All right, cool.
They're like,
then
bye.
we're done. But if you say, how am I supposed to do that? It puts it in a gray area because then a person is like, are you asking me or is that a rhetorical question?
Yeah.
And then you just you don't say anything. And you'll find that they'll end up negotiating against themselves. Right?
Okay.
They'll be like, well, because then what they'll respond with, like in a car deal, is, well, if we increase like your monthly like by $10, then we can lower this.
$10?
Yeah.
That's a good negotiating tactic too.
Yeah, right. But that is a good negotiation tactic in that to repeat back the last thing someone said. So I learned this in relationships, like in terms of like active listening. A lot of times, like, you're always trying to negotiate something that you want from the other person.
Absolutely.
And so the easiest way to really get to the root of what they're really negotiating for is to repeat the last thing they said. So, like, how I was like, $10, you'd be like, $10, like, as a question.
Mm-hmm.
And then what they'll do is they'll explain more of why it's $10.
Okay.
Because you phrase it as a question mark versus, I can't do that, right?
Yeah.
And I've tried this with everybody I've tried that on, it works. Even if you're not negotiating, just to repeat back the last like 1 to 3 words someone has said, It makes them feel like they're being heard and you're
It
listening.
helps with communication.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then it gives them permission to explain further. Because a lot of times what will happen is, especially in an argument, like your girl will come home and she'd be like, I'm pissed. And you'd be like, why are you pissed? And she'd be like, my boss, blah, blah, blah. And you'd be like, well, you shouldn't be pissed about that. It doesn't make sense. Like you don't validate her emotions, and then you try to fix it. Be like, well, why don't you do this or why don't you do that? So now you're calling her dumb as if she hasn't
and it's
thought
like
about
I didn't
it.
even ask you for a solution.
Absolutely.
I just want you to listen to what I'm saying right now. Yeah.
So then if she goes, so what you're supposed to do, like if she's like, I'm pissed, you just go, you're pissed? And then she'd be like, yeah, and then she'll explain furthermore. And then you'd be like, all right. And now here's what I also learned is after you, repeated back the last couple of things they've said, is to then say, what else are you feeling?
Yes.
Right?
I've heard that before.
Right.
Or read that somewhere before.
Because what we typically respond to and express initially is the surface level shit. Like with Miss Pat, like it's the anger, the frustration, and that stuff is at the surface. But then as we dig deeper, like you know this from acting, like two of the root motivations for action are fear and love. So when you get to the bottom of most emotions and anger or sad or whatever, there's a level of underlying fear or there's a level of love.
Yep.
And that's what you're trying to click down to. So what you want to do is click down to their
I feel like there
root
was
emotion.
hate.
Yeah.
in the underlying.
But at the always at the root of hate is going to be fear. It's like even if you look at slavery, right? When you slave masters, they it's not that they hated black people.
No, that was fear for sure.
There was fear of
absolutely
them uprising.
Of course.
A fear of a loss of their money.
And they white women.
Right, of the white women. So they feared a loss of their women, their
power,
their money, and their life. So, but at the surface, it looks like hate. That's why, like, if you watch the news, they always keep things at that surface level. They always show you the hate and the anger of groups.
Yeah.
But at the source of
the root of it,
somebody who wants to build the wall, it has nothing to do with hate or anger.
No, it's always fear.
It's fear.
It's always fear.
Yeah. Gun control is not about controlling guns. It's about controlling fear.
Right.
But nobody talks about that. Everybody's caught up in the guns and the bullets.
Oh, of course. We're all distracted.
Yeah, we're all distracted because
no
you get rid of the guns, they're going to bring in some other shit. They're going to bring in the Molotov cocktails.
For sure.
In Europe, they got the...
it's my weapon of choice.
The acid. They throw acid in your face.
That scares me. That's
scarier to me than bullets.
Same.
Shoot
because
me.
It's like you can shoot me, but don't disfigure my face.
No.
Don't melt my face.
I don't want no citric acid.
For.
I don't want no
hydrochloric acid.
What was that kidney stones?
Kidney stones
shit,
that Paul's struggling
acid,
with.
None of that. So, but it's a struggle because, and tell me if you grew up like this. As a kid growing up, and a lot of, I think, minorities especially who grow up in, if you grew up in like middle to lower class, you don't speak unless you're spoken to, and do as I tell you. Like you get that message from adults.
Of course.
And when you have that as a message, what atrophies is your ability to communicate effectively.
For sure.
So you have a lot of men and women who are growing up in these households that have taught them do not speak unless spoken to, and respect adults or whatever. And then when they become adults, you expect them to know how to communicate.
Yeah, it's our parents all did a number on us, and not that they did it intentionally. That's how they were brought up.
That's how they were brought up, right?
Of this is how it's supposed to be done, so it's got to be. It's just like. I complain about this all the time. It's because, like, I just wish people would just think outside the box more and think that just because something's not the norm, that it's wrong. Like, I talk about on stage now, like, about life and, like, how, like, because I have different views on, like, suicide and, like, abortion. Like, to me, I don't feel badly in death just in general. I don't feel bad when someone dies. I feel bad for their family members and people that love them because I know that that's a loss and that hurts. But I know what I believe in my spirituality is that there's something so much better out there. That's not, this is like life is suffering. Like being here is like getting old. It's a struggle. But like just in general, like we're here to learn lessons and to like if you're really doing life the way you should be, which is like just becoming a better person, like as you get older and like giving back and doing all that and just it's a lot. And then you're talking about you're also getting older and you get sick and you got to take care of people and you got to go to work and you got to pay rent. And it's just a lot of stuff. And it's like, that doesn't sound fun to me at all. Like, and I'm like, you got out of here. It's like, hey, good for you.
You got out of
You got out. And I'm not saying, again, I said this before, I'm not saying anyone should commit suicide. That's a terrible idea. Do not do that. But I just don't, I look at people, I don't feel a sense of like, when people talking about, as comedians, we say things that are very subversive on stage and we say things that are just not the norm that people have necessarily heard because we think our brains work differently. So it's like, we say things a lot of the time that's like, people are like, oh,
right.
You even talk, you bring up death. And it's like, that's why people think you can't make jokes about cancer. You can't make jokes about like Chappelle. You can't make jokes about
Everything.
trans people. It's
now,
like, what?
I will tell you, my only beef with, I had two beefs with, actually I was with another comic, but with Chappelle, the whole Anthony Bourdain suicide thing, I had a beef with, and not because he joked about it. Like I firmly believe you can joke about whatever,
Anything, right?
And I even have jokes about suicide. But my beef was that he compared, his opening joke was, here's Anthony Bourdain had the best job in the world, and he took his life, and then he goes, my buddy who had a lot of money, had a great job,
that's not what it's about.
All, and ended up working in a shoe store.
Yeah.
But he's still going. And then he didn't even go
into mental illness.
Yeah, he didn't even go into detail. He just kind of left it there. And I was like, why would you bring up such a charged topic and then keep it right there?
Yeah.
When
I think he did say the thing that he said that made me feel not as terrible about that part was he said, you don't know what people are going through. He said that. And I was like, oh, so that was, he could have gone deeper for sure because that was such a throwaway. But yeah, it's true. Like, and I guess that was a nod to people could have chemical imbalances. You don't know, like,
how
they are
when
depressing.
I looked into Anthony Bourdain's situation. I was like, because I was like, man, like from the outside, he did seem to have it all. You're like, what the hell? And
great
felt
job.
Well, it was a couple things. One, he felt like he was on borrowed time, because he didn't think he was going to make it past 30.
He didn't?
No, because he did a lot of drugs and he had a lot of abuse when he was a kid. And so he thought like that at the rate he was going, so like he always felt like anything after his 30s was like, wow, I'm just lucky to be here and I could go at any moment. But the other thing is that, he was married and had kids, and he said he felt really lonely and isolated because he was traveling and working all the time, but not with his family.
It's a lonely life.
There's nothing worse. I went to Thailand by myself for Christmas a few years ago.
Why you do that?
Just because I just wanted to get out the country. I was like, I just want to go somewhere, and I just want to see what that feels like, and it sucks. Not that it was a horrible trip.
It's pronounced sucky.
Yeah. but a comedy special, comedies are funnier when you watch it with other people.
Yeah.
Horrors are scary when you watch it with other people, and great experiences are greater when
with
you
other people,
with other people
you love and care
so,
about.
So yeah, we have this lone wolf mentality, but when you share it with somebody else,
it heightens it
so much. So I understand, like, Anthony Bourdain is like, yeah, he was with his camera crew and producer, but you don't want to be in Bali with two other dudes.
Your work coworkers.
Yeah. So
it's like you think of the analogy of masturbating and sex with an actual another person.
Oh, come on.
Like, what would you rather do?
I stopped. I was masturbating a lot for a minute, and
I need what's a lot? I need a ballpark.
Probably it was a period where it was at least every day.
Is that a lot for men? I don't know what the normal is.
Yeah, I don't think it. I think it was like in the middle because I talked to some. I've heard other stories, and some dudes like multiple times every day, and I wasn't a multiple time every day.
That seems like a lot.
I was like once a day, but I realized like I didn't like the way I felt, and just the payoff isn't there, where. Yeah, you get the release, but when you share that with someone, it's a feeling that then stays with you for a longer period of time.
Absolutely.
Versus that immediate like guilt, shame, or whatever.
Well, I never have shame when I masturbate.
Or like that disappointment. It's just disappointing because it
is disappointing.
It's a build up, and I've never been disappointed after sex.
I have. But I'm a woman, so yes.
I'm very skilled in that area, so I ensure that we both have a great time. And I was like, wait, this is not worth it, and it makes you objectify. It does make you objectify women, and
that's why I feel about porn. That's why I've never.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the only reason I've never really gotten into porn. I just have never really gotten into it. It never did anything for me, really. If I watched porn ever, it would be Skinamax back in the day.
Because it was subtle.
Yeah, I don't like raunchy, and that's not a judgment. It's just what my preference is.
Right. I think that's most women, though. They like the story. They want to be seduced.
Also, my dad loves me. I have a father. So, I don't do anal.
Well, not yet. Not yet.
I haven't been coerced.
You never know. You might.
Who knows?
Who knows what'll happen? You get real angry one night. Just put it in.
Just put it in. Do it. The window's very. It's a small window. I might change my mind.
When you get married, I think whoever.
When I get married.
I think whoever.
Leo, you don't know me at all.
I think you're gonna get married. You act very tough, but you're like a 9-year-old. You're like a little schoolgirl.
I'm not a schoolgirl, but at the same. Shut up. I'm not a schoolgirl.
We caught the look on camera. If we replayed it back, there was like a micro schoolgirl. You saw it, right? There was a micro schoolgirl that just popped up, right? She had on a little dress, and she was like at the end of the hallway, and she had a doll in her hand.
I might be vulnerable sometimes. That doesn't mean I want to get married. I honestly don't. I talk about this too much on the pod. I don't want to touch on it again, but yeah, I don't honestly think I want to get married. I don't know.
So, but what about like a life partner or
maybe if that happens?
Would be what
I'm not ever gonna date people and get in a relationship. But yeah, I just don't think marriage is necessary or the right thing for me.
Yeah, it's a strange construct, right? It's like a business contract till death do us part
for
and all that.
Something you don't know.
I think boredom should be in there, like sickness and health, boredom,
and
excitement.
That's my number one thing. Is like I get bored very quickly, so I can't promise.
Right.
And then it's like then you're gonna make somebody stay if they want, and it's like that. What kind of environment is that? I don't want to do that just because I signed a paper. I should be able to. I want everyone to be happy, and if we're not happy together.
Adios.
Just end it.
Just kick him out the car.
Leo, we have to go.
Do we?
I would kick somebody out. I would kick my husband out that car. I'd be like, this is it. I'm so sad. This was fun, and I want to talk more, but we run out of time.
Why do you guys just do an hour?
Because it's enough.
You know what? Here's what I found on my podcast is like I always like, I'm gonna keep them to an hour, and I find that the first hour is great. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
The second hour is when people.
It's 2 hours?
Well, sometimes I've had podcasts like 2.5. Like I just let it go until. But what I find is in the second hour is when all the shit
comes out.
Yeah, that's when when you get to the real person. We
have very different podcasts.
Yeah, but you're talking about the struggle, and I think, and I think it would be great to consider it because. People come in here with the struggle and they go, this is what I'm struggling with and blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like an argument, right? Like, this is what I'm pissed about. But then as you really start to keep talking,
that's when
then you find out what's really going on. You'll be like, this has nothing to do with Miss Pat or
Leo,
the Comedy Store,
Here the thing is
but
that
it takes that second hour.
I believe it, but I'm not here to solve people's problems.
Plus you ain't got AC.
Yeah, no, that's too much. That's part of it also. It's exhausting. It's like, I can't. I'm sweating. No, it is. It's a lot. But again, I try, it's a comedy podcast. So it's like, I'm not going to, what am I going to do? You have a mental, that's what your thing is like you're discussing things that are serious. So it's like, sometimes the things are serious, but the goal is to, just make people laugh
But that's what I love about comedy right now is that we are bridging that gap between, comedy and drama. Like if you look at Dave Chappelle's, it was funny, but it was deep too. Like he was saying some shit. Hannah Gadsby.
I thoroughly enjoyed
Bill
hers.
Burr.
Absolutely.
I love the fact that a lot of comics are getting a bit more vulnerable, I guess, on stage and
explore. And Neil Brennan's 3 Mics. He was, I think, the first comic to do a special that he talked about his depression.
Right.
So I think it's necessary.
Yeah. What's his name? Gary Goldman. So comedy is like, man, I love what the direction is heading right now. I love it. It's great.
We are the exact opposite. No, I love that. I love what we mentioned here, but I hate that I hate how I feel like parts of comedy are dying because of all the policing and all the you can't say this and you can't say that, and people are watching their words so much that, and the way that people got so angry at Chappelle's special, and like you guys are forgetting the most important part. These are jokes.
The comics, right?
Do you really think that he thinks those kids deserve to get molested by Michael Jackson? Do you really think? Do you think that he really thinks kids need to get molested? Like, no, these are jokes. And if you can't see that, I can't help you. I don't know what it's going to take for you to realize that we are out here just trying to make people's lives better with laughter. That is it. You can't take anything we say seriously.
I still laugh at fart jokes.
They're the gift that keeps on giving.
Keep on. I will never be too mature for that.
I agree.
For a good fart joke.
I agree. 100%. I was telling one last night.
You told him a fart joke last night?
Well, I'm vegan now, so I fart often.
Oh.
It's a part of my life.
No, you're not eating the right vegan food.
No, I said I food combined wrong.
Oh, you had some kimchi? What you had? Some kim?
No, but I have one time.
Oh, kimchi jacks my stomach up.
Oh,
I can't do it.
There's a coffee shop right down the street here that has kimchi fried rice that I had last year. Not that day, but the next morning.
What was that?
I ate the whole thing.
Onset?
Delayed onset mud butt. I got to get out. We got to get on that note, guys. Put a pin in that. We'll start up the next podcast with farts.
Adios.
Bye. Oh, wait. You got
LeoFlowers.com.
Not that abruptly. Yeah, where can people find you?
Check me out, LeoFlowers2000 on Instagram, or just go to LeoFlowers.com. It links to all of that. And then my podcast is it's a suicide prevention podcast called Before You Kill Yourself.
And I have a suicide encouragement podcast. Because people are trash, and some people shouldn't be here anymore. This was amazing, Leo. Thank you for coming.
It was amazing.
I'm definitely going to have you back. You got to come back.
For sure.
I would love, you know what? I would like to have you also. Would you be open to co-hosting some episodes with me? I haven't had a co-host in a while.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, okay. I'm looking for people because I don't think I'm ever going to have a permanent co-host anymore, but I would like to have guest co-hosts, people that I have good chemistry with, and I think you're one of them.
Yeah, it'd be dope.
Good. Yay!
I'm excited.
Yay! You guys are right. So, again, if you have not subscribed, make sure you do that. Rate and review on iTunes, and also tell somebody about the struggle. If you're listening and enjoying regularly, do a solid. And CandiceThompsonComedy.com, Jokes by Candice. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.